Mic on.
Hello, hello, hello. Let me sort this out. I'm in the dark. Looks awful. There we go. There we go. I'm like distraught. A terrible day of driving, and I was doing fantastic for years. For 2 years straight, I've been driving. For the last 12 days, I've not been driving. And then all of a sudden, I had my CBT and I failed it terribly, somehow. I don't know how, but everything went wrong. Every moment that we were driving in, it was just, well, I say everything went wrong. There was just like two major things, and it was like, how the hell am I in this situation? I kept seeing it. I was just like, for the 2 years I've been driving, I'd never been in those situations before, and it was just crazy to see. Because I've done right-hand turns, I've done left-hand turns, I've done roundabouts, I've done everything. Like, I've literally been everywhere. Like, I would drive my 125 everywhere, like up and down the bypass, round style, round the lanes, everywhere, like literally everywhere. And I just don't understand like what happened today. It was honestly it was awful. But it was just like I think it's something to do with the instructor and me and us not getting on or whatever. Like subconsciously I think things were going amiss. But it was just strange. I'd never been in those situations before. But it's like I went out to make a right turn and the guy in the car blocked the entire lane to turn left, to turn right, sorry, and I was making a right turn. And I kind of floated in front of him for a bit, so he goes in, like, so he makes his turn. So I was like trying to like edge my way over, and he kind of just sat there and just stared at me, and I was just like, what the fuck? And then he just like points over to the right, and I'm like, I'm looking to the right, and there's just a lane of oncoming traffic, and I'm like looking at him like, is he taking the piss? Like, what the fuck? So I end up running out of time and going round him, so I went on the left side instead, and then just waited for traffic. And as soon as there was a gap, I was out and I'm gone. And it was dangerous, but it was like, what was I meant to do? Like the traffic lights changed. I'm waiting in lane. I'm watching. We're both about to merge, and he kept going forward when he should have stopped. And I was like, shit. And then like I just bottled it. I was like, what the fuck? And then he's like stared at me, and I'm like looking at him, and he's like, "Why the fuck isn't he driving?" Like I'm waiting on his like he's got like right of way because he moved faster into position than me, so I was waiting for him to go, and he just didn't go. I was just like, "What the fuck?" It's like set me up to fail. I'm sat there waiting for him to drive, and he just didn't do it, and he just decided to stare at me. I'm like, "It's not fucking, why don't you take a bastard picture?" But instead, he waited, I waited, and then in the end, I would just had to drive around him. He gave me, if I would have gone on the right, he was so far over into the next lane that I would have been peeking out in front of oncoming traffic without being able to see. So if I was to go on that side of him, I'm like waiting, and I'm like, what the fuck's going on? Like, how could like I can't get past you, man. Like you've come too far over. And he's like pointing over to the other side of him. I'm like, forget this. I don't if I he was right in which way I was meant to go around, but he already moved over, so that opportunity had gone, and it was just ridiculous, man. I just don't understand it because I've been in those situations plenty of times, and I've never had that problem ever, except that time when I'm doing my CBT, and it was just ridiculous. I was like, oh my god. But like the instructor treated me as if I was like a danger to everyone around her, and like I was the worst person to ever drive a motorbike, and it was like crazy, and I was just like, what the fuck? And that like she just forgot to give us instruction of where we were going. We were coming up to like major junctions, and I'm like in lane after being like, we've been in lane and around Stockport, it's all like a one-way system. So there's a lot of junctions that turn into turns rather than continuing. So the lanes swap about quite a bit. So it'll be like a single lane, double lane, triple lane, double lane, single lane, and turn-offs just become like a single straight line will become a turn, and it was just ridiculous. Like, so I'm like driving in the same lane as she's told me instructed, and I'm waiting for her call to say continue ahead, or turn into the next lane, continue ahead, or turn, or whatever. And I'm just like, where are we going? Like, and I'm like at the lights already, and she's like, oh, you took too long. I'm like, took too long? You didn't say anything. Like, it's like expected me to telepathically know that we needed to keep going. Like, it's like you just keep going straight ahead until told otherwise. It's like that's not true. Like you should be instructing us at major turns, like at major junctions where there's massive crossroads, left and right turns. You need to tell me where I'm going. Like what the fuck? But it's just so bad. Like the whole thing was terrible. But luckily I've got like another shot at it in like a couple of days. I definitely messed up, but it was totally blown out of proportion. She seems like one of those mothers that like panics at all sorts of shit, and I'm just like watching her like okie dokie. Like I totally know who she is, but it just sucks, man. Like I don't know. I just I I just didn't understand her whatsoever. Like I couldn't. It was just impossible. I was trying to get a better understanding of how who she was and how she was, so I could understand what she was asking of me. But she was saying one thing, and I was getting a complete different vibe from her. And I'm just like, nah, man, there's something wrong there. That shit's not good. But it was like I just don't trust it. So we just weren't work. It just wasn't working out. But I just don't want to be an emotional punch bag for a friggin' driving instructor. Do you know what I mean? I'm there to learn, and that she's there to guide me. So if she doesn't guide me properly and I don't learn, it's not really just on me because I have been driving successfully for the past 2 years without. I had one bump, and it was my fault. I was too quick. I didn't read the what the driver was doing properly, and he wasn't clear in his driving. He was like parked up and then he decided to pull out and turn instead of like turning onto lane. It looked like to me he was just pulling out into lane and he just didn't. And then it looked like, and he was intending to turn, so it wasn't clear on both sides. But I should have just stopped behind him. But that was ages ago, and I learned from that, and I moved on from that. But then all today it was awful. It was terrible. It was just like a whole big blag. Everyone was just blagging, blagging, blagging. It was awful. Everyone was just like, blah, 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 all this talking, all this crap, and I'm just like, whatever, man. Like, I don't care. Like, I don't want to hear the fucking stories. And I'm trying to like, get involved and like trying to listen, but it was just blokes just talking nonsense, and I'm just like, oh my god, I just don't want to hear it, man. Like, I really don't. I don't care. Like, it pisses me off. But it's just ridiculous. They definitely have attitude problems 100%. Like I can see it. Like I'm sat there and they're already on edge and they've already got some type of they've got an angst or like something about them. Do you know what I mean? Like, but do you know what the worst part about it was? The moment that I got into the driving like place, they didn't know I was meant to be there. The instructor that was on site wasn't aware that I was meant to be in that session. And I was like, what do you mean? It's like I spoke to two different people, the owner of the company and another staff member, and they both told me I should have been there that day. I was specific saying that my CBT runs out. I'm worried. Should I do it sooner or later? When can I do my CBT first? I'll pay for the course and I'll do the CBT. It says on their website, you pay for the course and the CBT comes free if you need a renewal. So that's what I paid for, and that's what I said. But this woman, this instructor that was there, it was like I was having to convince her that I was meant to be there. And straight away, it was just problem after problem after problem. It was just so weird. I don't know. It was just like instant that she just didn't want to fucking listen. She just didn't want to be there. She didn't want to know. And I was like, what the fuck? Like, what? Like, how am I meant to do the CBT then? It's like she just wanted to run the course from memory and not actually drive the bike. And I was like, no, man, the course is not the course. The course is how I learn. That's the course. Like, you're meant to be the expert and teach me as I go, but nah, I've got to follow your instructions 24/7. It's like, no, that's not how people learn. Like, your instructions meant to guide people's learning, not the other way around. Like, yeah, like what? My learning's meant to guide her instruction. Like, it doesn't work like that. So, like, what? Some days you're going to be a good instructor. Some days you're going to be a bad one, depending on depending on the student. It's like that's not how it works. You're meant to be a good tutor, whether you've got a good student or a bad student. It's the other way around. But she saw me as like the emotional punch bag, as like a ex or some shit, or her son, and that I was just being disorderly and misbehaving, and I was just like, what the fuck? Like, she was totally misunderstanding us and like misunderstanding us, but then she thinks she's putting us right. But when she tells us the shit that comes through, I was like, that's not right, man. Like, you're telling me something completely different. and she thinks it's fine, and I'm like, that's not fine, man. Like, that's not how it goes. Like, what the fuck? So I was like, whatever. And I took it on the chin, like I didn't take it personally, and she kept doing it, and every time it kept feeling like she's like punching me. Every time she's saying stuff, every time it's like a punch, like a jab, boom, boom, every time, and I was just like, right, okay, not like I've not been driving, but then like when I've been like I was riding the bike's a bag of shit, like it's genuinely crap, like it's got 65,000 miles on it, and it's a YBR from like 20 years ago, and it's like she expects people to learn on that thing. Like people expect to learn or like to perform straight away on a bike that's like, you know, that needs obviously needs like replacing and renewing. Like what the fuck? Like it's mad. Like it's mad. Like no, it's crazy. Like it's absolutely crazy. It's like it was like it was adjusted. No, it was, oh man, the bike was just. I've got a YBR. I jumped on that thing and even previously I didn't have a bike like that. Like I passed the test with that school and the bikes was not like that. The bike worked. It was a little bit clunkier because obviously they're older, but it worked and it was smooth and it was comfortable. The bike I was on, man, it was like a brick. Like it was just rigid and just horrible, man. It was awful. But it was, I don't know. She was just going on like I couldn't drive and I was all over the place and this, that, and the other. And it's just like, nah, man. Like she was making me nervous, man. Like constant screaming. Every time she opened her voice, it was like a squawk, but like it was going through me, like straight away and instantly. She was on a high alert, man. I think the woman was fight and flight throughout that whole session. But I think guys make her go into fight and flight. She shouldn't be tutoring men if she doesn't know how to deal with men. She can't. Like I'm a sensitive guy, man. So although I'm a man, I have feelings, you know. Like and although people will be like, ha ha ha, you've got feelings. It's like, yeah, like and what? Do you know what I mean? It's like what? Like what are you gonna do? Like, do you know what I mean? It's like the fuck. But no, man, it's wrong. Like you shouldn't. Nah, if that's that attitude of like where men's feelings don't matter in this day and age is fucking wrong, man. Like it's like, yo, that's where you're gonna have a major downfall. That's where you're gonna suffer. Like men have feelings, man, and you should like you should be fucking aware. Like you shouldn't like. Do you know what I mean? It's like be considerate, be polite. You know, men respect that. Like for a reason. That's how we live our lives respectfully. Like there's a reason why people get called gentlemen because that's what it is. She wants to raise a brute, man. I don't know. I don't know what she wants, but I was like, what the fuck? I don't want to be a savage. She was like, oh no, it's weird, man. I was talking to her and she just wanted me to like be a fucking brute or some shit. I'm like, nah, man. I'm not like becoming your fantasy or some shit. It was just weird. I just don't understand her. That's why I was trying to gain a better understanding to see what she wanted from me. But from what I was seeing, she just looked like she wanted to fucking take out all the shit on someone. And then later on, it's like all the little fly monkeys, all the girls there were like happy that I've like failed, and they all had grins on their faces. And I was just like, what the fuck's going on? Like, where's Stu gone? Not Stu, sorry, Drew. Where's Drew gone? He was sound. Like, where's the rest? Like, what's happened? Do you know what I mean? It was just dead weird. I was like, why is he red? And why is Stu like fucking gone? Like, it's proper weird. No, because Stu, I keep calling him Stu. Drew was genuinely like concerned for people's well-being. Like I had moments where I had absolutely fucked up, where I've not been used to pushing anything that's 110 kilograms, right? And I was holding this bike, and I just underestimated the weight of it, and I was checking something, and the moment I put my weight off center to look at something, I just realized how heavy the bike was, and it toppled on me. And he was there for me, man. You know what I mean? Like the guy was there. He was like, "Don't worry, you're all right," and everything. He's this big, massive guy, but he was like, "No, you're all right. Don't worry." I was like, "I'm really sorry for dropping the bike," and he was like, "You're fine. Don't worry about it, honestly. It's these things happen. We've got these for that reason, blah blah blah." But it was just like there was, yeah, he was actually compassionate. Like he genuinely had compassion. Like it was what makes him a good tutor, definitely. And I think by letting him go, I think that school was like one of the worst decisions they could have done. To be honest, on the last time when I did it, I failed my CBT first time, but I'd never ridden a bike before. Like I've been on a push bike, but I'd never touched a motorbike. I'd never been near one. Do you know what I mean? Well, no, sorry, I've been near them, but I ain't never been on one or tried or anything. And it was like it was really nerve wracking for me. Plus, the other guy that was driving I was with, he was like really aggressive. Like the guy was like a proper prick. Like we were just like, what the fuck? Like, nah, man, he was really aggressive. Like the vibes that were coming through, man, it's like he wanted to kill people. We were just like, what the fuck? But anyway, like that kind of threw me off a bit. And like the next day, like I think it was a few months later, I did my CBT again, and I had someone that was a little bit more like me, and we got on, and he was different. It was different from each other, but we could get on, and it was really good. Like we had such a good session. We actually enjoyed each other's company, and it was fun. Like he's talking about his brother, how his brother's into motorcycles, and he thought one day he might as well go for it. And Drew was instructing us, and Drew was giving us way too much information about stuff, but it was funny. Like it was hilarious. He's a funny guy. Like he is actually a funny guy, but it's just when you're trying to be serious and everything, and then we're just like he's just like cracking jokes. And we're like, come on, man. It's like this is not good. It's like, all right, okay. But it's just funny. But like what happened today was just the complete polar opposite of what I get it, I make mistakes, I learn from it, we move on. But today was like I was treated like a criminal. Like I felt like I was wrong for even buying the course and even trying to drive a motorbike. That's how she made me feel. It was like, why the fuck have you even bothered? And then afterwards she was like grilling me saying like, what have you been doing driving the bike? And I've been like, what do you mean? Like it's like, have you been going just to and from work? I was like, I've been driving everywhere. Like I've been going to and from work, to the grocery store, everywhere. Like up and down every lane, every roundabout, with no problems. Like literally zero problems. Like I don't understand it. But she just didn't get it. She just I don't know. It's just fucking weird. I don't know what she was expecting. But yeah, I'm just late to coming on because I just felt friggin' sad, man. I was just genuinely upset. I can't believe it. I just didn't think like I don't know. I just didn't think like somebody would behave that way at such an age, and it's just a shock. But it's just really weird, like how like everybody had like a grin on their face, like they were happy to see me fail. It was like really weird. I don't know. I just don't know. Like I literally don't get it. It's such a strange place. But the dynamics have changed quite a bit because I don't know. I guess it's summer holidays and all that shit, innit? But I don't really give a shit. But yeah, strange times. Hide bait. Yeah, I'm just on Twitter. I don't know. I don't really know what to do. I think I'm gonna go on like RuneScape for a bit. I got my new computer coming tomorrow. Oh my god. And I was just like friggin' stressed and exhausted, and that was worse than a day at fucking work. Like work's not that stressful, honestly. Work was never that stressful. I feel really bad as well last night. Where is she? Alisa. Alisa Stacy like started following, and she was talking in chat, and I'd completely missed the messages. But I was so angry at like the game that I was trying to like stay focused, and I just couldn't. Like it was just it's taking me back and forth, and I was just oh my god. And I was just like super focused on like trying to get the mission complete, and I just missed the messages. But obviously, I'll put you in my tweet. And I shouted out. I don't know if she's seeing, but if she comes back, she's more than welcome. I will pay attention. After tomorrow, what I'm going to do is I'm going to, excuse me, after tomorrow, I'm gonna have my second screen up. So with my second screen, I can read chat at the same time. Right now, I'm just using my phone, but I want to, I want to, I'm gonna get the computer set up. It's like a thing. I've been trying to repair this tower, and it's fully functional now. It's all great, but then realizing that I need a better processor for Windows 11. Like my processor has the capability, but for some reason isn't supported. So I was just like, never mind, I won't bother. But yeah, pretty sad times. So I've got a new computer tomorrow, and then yeah, should be good. Just trying to find out what's trending in the UK or anything. If there's anything going on. Taylor in the UK. Not really much going on. The UK hasn't changed all that much most recently. We're still dealing with the same problems, but they're not really problems. They're just time. It's just things we're going through. I don't see it as an issue. I don't really see any. Diddy's trending. What the hell? Breaking news. Do you support Mel Gibson's plan to expose pedophiles and human traffickers in Hollywood, including revealing the Epstein and Diddy lists? Yes or no? Of course. You know what though? Mel Gibson's like one of those crazy artists, right? But he's one of those good crazy artists where he's like eccentric good. You know what I mean? He's like crazy, but he's like you would be crazy to know what's going on in the world. Like it's super sad. But I like Mel Gibson. I've always liked his movies, and he's always done a good job. But he's like obviously crazy. It's funny. Even in his roles when he's like playing a role, he's just like obviously crazy. There's not really much going on in the world. Well, in the UK anyway. Let me introduce you to the biggest criminals in DC. Yeah. It's so sad. It's so sad. I seen Asmongold earlier. He was talking about like the problems in the world, and I totally have the same view as him. And I never thought I would. To be honest, I always thought I was quite different from that guy. Or at least we look different anyway. But we totally hold the same values. He was talking about how like a lot of people were subjective to like altruism, and how like a lot of this like sort of narcissistic and psychopathic sort of like lifestyles have turned us to like a very altruistic way of life, and it's like desensitizing us, but it's keeping us separate from each other, you know. And like we all truly know that our family's like the major thing. Family's important. Like family, even as little family as you got, you know, even if it's down to a hamster, I don't know, or a cat or whatever, whoever you've got, like, you know, it's super important. Like my parents, like I've never really like got on with my parents like where we're like best friends or anything. But to be honest, like in time of need, if really needs be, like we can be there for each other. But it's been very distant in my relationship with my family. Mainly because of like I think when I grew up, but it's not like a sob story. It's just how it happened, sort of thing. Most of it happened for better. I think it would have gone worse if my parents stayed together. My parents were split when I was younger, but I think like it allowed me to have a better relationship with both of them. Even though it was difficult going from one to the other, I had a more deeper relationship with both. It makes me feel better in myself for the future, just knowing that I've got like a relationship with both. Like if that makes sense. So I don't know, and it's also gave me experience to deal with like so my dad like dealing with men in the future is like it's not just like I don't have an idea about men. I know men quite personally, like guys not just hanging around with, but guys that I wouldn't hang around with, if that makes sense. Like I totally get what it's like to be a guy, you know. I know I'm a guy, and I know that sounds stupid, right? But it's like it's just having a respect for your fellow man. Like it literally is. Like it sounds very tongue in cheek, but it's like it's true. Like it's just having respect for like your community and like like a lot of people judge characters' faces and what people have been through very shallowly. But that's coming back down to this narcissism that we've all like sort of decided to adopt. And it's like it's so true, like to be compassionate and let up on the idea that like things have got to be to your expectation is like without a doubt something that everybody can learn. And like the whole world is just like it's not disappointing because it's not all bad. Like it's definitely not. Like I can definitely see there are good people. Like after having that horrendous time at the motorcycle place. I was skateboarding round just to take things off my mind. I'm like skating. I'm flying down this hill and I'm walking around. I walked around the estate a few times. It's nice sunny weather, but I was just trying to get out and get my head like it doesn't matter with the weather. If you've got things going through your mind, the weather don't matter. And I wasn't really appreciating it. I was just walking around like I had my hoodie on just to keep the sun off my head and my body or whatever. It's keeping me warm, but if I kept going slow, I didn't like overheat. So as I'm going, like this guy, like out of nowhere, like I sort of recognize him, but I've not met him, but I've recognized the type of guy he is. I've seen him, and I was like, he's like one of those kind guys. Like he definitely is like a kind person. He's safe, and like as he went past, like I knew he was recognized, and I could see him. I could feel his vibe, man, and he was putting out, and I could feel him, and I was like, and I just thought nothing of it. I thought, nah, man, don't like, do you know what I mean? When you see someone open and they're just like safe, it's like cool. But I didn't say any, I didn't say any, like say anything or whatever. So I just kept walking. So I was in my mood, I was like feeling proper upset. And then this guy's like, hey, hey. I'm like, and I can feel it's coming to me. And I'm like, he's like, hey, hey, hey. I'm like, hey. And he's like, hey. I'm like, hey, yo, what's up? And he's like, oh, yeah, you fucking, like, it's warm, innit? And I was like, yeah. He's like, fucking, you're in a hoodie, man. I'm in a t-shirt. I was like, I know. And like, it don't really bother me. Like, I quite like being in hot weather and I could still wear a hoodie. It doesn't really bother me. I was like, yeah, it is pretty warm. And he was like, yeah, yeah. And I was like, he was like, oh no. He said, to be honest, I just thought you looked really cool. To be honest, like, and I was just like, what? And it was like, yeah, yeah. I just thought, like, I don't know, you got your skateboard and clothes and stuff. You're getting your hoodie and like, I just thought you looked cool. I was like, thanks. It was like such a strange compliment, but like, well, not a strange compliment, but it's just like out the blue. Like, it was really weird. Mainly because I've not spoke to anyone around here other than the people that live below me. I've not spoke to anybody. Like, not a single person has spoke to me. I usually have like I don't know why, but I seem to attract a lot of people that willingly, openly just talk to me like all the time. But it's just not happened in ages. But today, that guy was just like, "Hey," I was like, "Hi." It was really weird, but it was cool though. I like people though. Like I was saying to the guys in the motorcycle place, they were all like typical blokes where they're just like, oh, I love it when people come together with motorcycles, and I'm like, people do that about everything, like what you're talking about, and they're just like, they don't get it, like they can't stand for, they just don't get it, like it's like, oh, it's got to be about just the motorbike. It's like, bro, like people come together over like anything, like like if you get the right blokes, yeah, like people, some guys will discuss the farts they've had, you know what I mean, like. It's just I don't know who they've been hanging around with, but it's they need to change who they're hanging around with. I even said to them, I said I'm one of those weirdos, man. I'll talk to anyone. I'm not bothered. And they just all like wince and they all just like go silent and stuff. It's like fucking hell. It's like it comes back down to this altruism shit. I swear down. Like when it comes back round to the narcissism and the psychopathy, it's like it leads to this altruism where people are just following authority, and it's just like shit. It's so sad. Like it really is. It just, I don't know, it always leads to just like terrible things. I don't know, it just leads to people being hurt and people being upset and just people misunderstanding and just causing more like abuse. It's so sad. But, everything's progress and nothing's perfect, so I'm not excusing the abuse, but it is what it is. But it's just interesting to see how like, I don't know, how things have changed and how things haven't changed. I used to skate around here. I've got a friend, or like an old, like no longer really a friend, like lives like round the corner from me, and I used to be at her house like every weekend. Like we used to get on so well. Like people would think we were in a relationship together. She's gay though, so we were like, she's like my best mate. It's fantastic. We had like the best relationship. Me and her were like inseparable. We were like best mates. I'm not even kidding. We were joint at the hip. I am not joking. Both of us were just like we're just the same. Like skater, we used to smoke a bit, and but it was like the way of life. We just didn't have pressure on one another. I didn't care who she was, and she didn't care who I was, and like that was the best part about it. She could do and say whatever. She used to be like, I used to love it because like I'm one of those guys, right? And people, I'm like Marmite, people hate me or love me, right? But like I'll just say anything, and I'll behave in whatever way I feel is according, right? I'm not unreasonable, so I'm not crazy, but if I have an opinion, it's coming out, right? And I would come out with some shit, and I would have that girl in stitches. She would be crying, laughing, man. Jadel. I don't know why we called her Jadel, but Jadel, yeah, Jadel. Jadel. But like, it's funny because like, she just, oh, I don't know, she's just funny. Like, she would come out with something, and then she would have that instant regret just in case, and she'd be like, like, and she'd like get all like nervous about saying things that she felt was true. And it's like, look, your feelings aren't right or wrong. Your feelings are your feelings. Like that's how it is. See, feeling how you feel is neither right or wrong. How you feel is how you feel, and whether you understand or accept that, that is on you and how you deal with your inner world, right? So I used to always teach her that, like that how I felt is how I felt, and I would express that, and that's what she liked about me. If I felt like screaming, guess what? I'm screaming. If I felt like just shouting and saying stuff, I would say stuff. But she just she couldn't quite grasp what I was doing. But she would do it, and then she'd be like, and then she kind of like have this like second conscience, which wasn't really hers, and she'd be eh, like worried she'd like upset the neighbors or some shit. And I'm like, what? The neighbors would appreciate you being a freak, don't you know that? She just didn't get it, but like she got it. She loved it, but at the same time she just couldn't do it herself. But after I came back from Nuki, I don't know, like something's happened to her. She's like seriously mad about everything in the world, and I think it's got her. It's got a ghost, man. You know, if that makes sense. It's got a ghost. It's got her upset. It's got her in a rut, and she just can't break free of it. She can't break free of the psyops of the social pressures. Whereas I go through it all, but I just can't help but just drift into the unknown about it all. You know, I kind of like I feel like I'm in a boat lying backwards going down a river with no paddle, you know, and I'm just like sometimes it's rough, sometimes it's easy, sometimes it's not, but I'm just kind of like at the end of it just still just going down the river, going down the stream on my back, like that's how it ends up every time. But it's just I think a lot of people forget to unpack. And I think a lot of things affect us, but we just don't listen to ourselves. But I'm a free spirit, man. I like traveling. I like all sorts of adrenaline junkie things. But I don't know. I'm just kind of like a bit upset by today. I don't know what to do really. I want to say I want to change the way I think and feel about things, but to be honest, I think it was like a major injustice today. To be perfectly honest, on myself, like I didn't act accordingly how I'd want to, but I didn't feel safe with my instructor. So I feel like that's why it affected my performance. To be perfectly honest. I'm just gonna let it water under the bridge. I've got a day tomorrow where I can just relax and I get my computer. It's in transit at the moment. I think who's got it? Who's got it? DPD's got it and it's in Stoke or something like that. It's nearby anyway. So yeah, it'll be fine. So I'll get a nice new computer tomorrow and I can sort of rest assured that I'm gonna have a computer for the next God knows how many years. It's quite a nice computer as well, actually, and I've not bought anything probably for about 10, 15 years, like brand new. Yeah, my graphics card was the last thing I bought. That was for my computer. Sorry, I have bought a motorcycle since then. That was like 10 years old. Um, but yeah, I've not bought like anything for my computer in years. And to be honest, the motorcycle was the biggest purchase I've had in like again another 15 years. Like I've just been working. See, the pressures in the UK is really harsh. Like for guys like me, like when I came out of uni, um, my degree doesn't like. Well, to be fair, I didn't finish it, but any other qualification that I've got, it's not relevant with anything anymore. Like it's really like the industries are very competitive that I went for, and it's a very rich thing. I know it sounds like dead typical to say, but it's like a quite a affluent sort of what's the word? It's quite an affluent type of degree that I've gone for. It's in conservation. Now you'll find that a lot of people that are in conservation are very wealthy, and I didn't know this until I went and studied. And I found that a lot of people had a lot of time where they could afford the basic things in life, like living and food and like cars and things but these jobs require all those things that are like, so I struggled to get the jobs when I was growing up because of the recession that I was in. Nobody would give me the chance at work experience. Not even the postman, not the postman, sorry, the newspaper at the convenience store. I tried everything, the milkman, the convenience stores. The only thing I didn't try was McDonald's at the time, that would have maybe have done it. Um, but again, it was like full-time work. I don't know if they did part-time at the time, but I'm pretty sure it was full-time. I did apply for them, but there was something wrong, and I would have had to wait until I was in college or something. It was always very restrictive, particular types of employment, and it would have meant I would have had to sacrifice a lot of things to do those things, but I wanted to continue in further education. So it's like I can't sacrifice my education to stay in a job. I wanted to, and a lot of people supported me in continuing with my education, so it made sense. But only to find out later on that I was in the wrong industry, and I was not chasing pipe dreams, but I was chasing um, interests. I've always been interested in the ocean and conservation, so that's what I studied. And I studied government politics and computing and biology and things like that. But I went specifically into conservation because I really enjoyed it. Like I find it fun. Like it's literally like what you would do as a kid. You know, you go into your garden and you look for species, and there are specific scientific ways of identifying and counting the numbers and density, and it's called a biological index, and there's tons of different ways you can sort of add to the index and calculate the species in the area. It's pretty fun. Like I find it fun. It's just being able to look for things and know what you're looking for, knowing different ecosystems and relationships, and it's brilliant. Like it's really good. It's dead easy. It sounds dead complex and scientific, but you know, you're looking at different like environments. There are different biomes, and different biomes have different ecosystems, and all these ecosystems is bottom line it to you is just a different way of and how energy flows. So things always go from like a first level, secondary, and tertiary. So it works from like everything starts off with like lichens and moss, and it starts off with like nitrogen and carbon in the air, and then things start growing, and then that's like beginning of life. It's called succession, and it just continues like that. And the biodiversity just multiplies and complexifies, like just it just builds and builds and builds and becomes more abstract and unique, and it's just building on energy. So basically, when there's more life, there's more energy. So that's what happens. So basic life starts with succession and lichens, which is like moss and stuff, and then it builds up from lichens to moss to plants to trees, and then and then the animals come with that as well. So you got insects, and it's just fantastic. I just really enjoyed it, but it was the wrong industry. I had a lot of people that were like snobs around me, and was just like they didn't like the fact I was from Manchester, from the north, and then once they found out I was from South Manchester, it was like a big thing. It was a problem, and I was just like, what the fuck? I was definitely discriminated against, but it's the way I am. Like I can't help it. Like it's not how I hold myself. It's not my beliefs. It's the experiences that I've had in life that people go, oh no, that's just nonsense. And it's like, bro, I used to have people trying to run me out of my own town. I had people trying to jump me and put me in the back of a van and all sorts because I stood up for myself. It's like these people go, you got to stand up to bullies. I was like, round my way, you stand up to those bullies, they'll fucking kill you. They'll bag you. They'll put you in a van. They plan that shit. They find out where you live. They find out what school you go. They find out your route you take, and they talk to 20 people and they'll hunt you down. Like, and then I go to these toughs down south and I go study with them, and they don't know any of that shit. They only know daddy in his pocket, you know what I mean? And I'm just like, right, cool. So like, I hate to sound snide and proper like proper horrible, but that's the facts, man. That's the shit I had to deal with. So while I'm trying to study for my GCSEs, I've got guys chasing me because I had long hair. I got guys chasing me because I decided to wear baggy jeans and Converse. Nowadays, it's the style. I used to play video games back in the day. I used to play World of Warcraft. People would kill me over that shit. If they would have found out, they'd have beat the fuck out of me. Definitely, 1,000,000%. Because I was into science and mathematics, they already like didn't like me for that shit. Nowadays, it's cool, but back then, definitely not. No, back then people wanted to kill me over that stuff. They hated that. They hated knowing that I enjoyed education, and they hated knowing that I had different interests. So that those are the things that I had to deal with growing up. But they're the things that everybody to this day wants to deny. And I think it has something to do with their relatives or their parents or something. But they want to deny that those things happen. And I'm like, nah, man, I'm not having that. Like, I'm not just going to be called a liar from the things that have happened to me. It's like, nah, man, that was just BS. It's like, nah, man, that guy wanted to fucking hurt me. They tried, like, a lot of. It's a joke half the time, but I'm just like, what the fuck? Like, what's the point? Like, but trauma's trauma, and people are people in it. So you just grow up and move on. So it's just people and difference in opinions and all that shit. Like people care, people don't. It is what it is. But that's what I'm saying, like to deny the experiences that I've had, people will suffer because the experiences that I had about these things are important because people will do silly things if you disagree with them. And it's a fact. Like if you don't like some people can't handle if that you don't agree with them. Even if you're wrong, let's say if I have a different an opinion and I'm wrong, some people can't handle the fact that if I choose to be wrong, like and they have to get on that as if it's like their authority or their God-given right to make sure that everybody's right. And then in the end, to find like if you knew you were like I'm not like that. Like if I know I'm right, I'll let you believe whatever you want to believe. I don't care. Like that's on you. You know, if I go to lie to you, the problem is if I lie to you, I'm lying to myself. Like not because I'm lying to a person, but if I was to tell a lie, my subconscious inside of me, my soul doesn't know the difference of whether I'm talking to you or myself. My emotions and feelings don't work on you, me, them, they. That's your mind. That's your mind. That's your head. Your feelings know energies, vibes, negativity, positivity. You know, how was that said to me? What did that person look like as they were telling me? You know, what was the face like? That's how your body picks up on things. Like it's like being a psychologist, but being aware of like how you treat people and how you like. I'm aware of how I speak to people, so when I'm talking to them, they're intimidated by me because I know what I'm doing. And when I talk to them, I pull faces, I make gestures, I point my head, I widen my body, I pull my shoulders back, I pull my chest out. When I talk to them, I'm like, yeah, and they're like, I'm in my body, like I'm aware, I'm not in my mind. And that's when I see like I know people when they're in the mind, when they're stuck in like the little reptilian walnut in the back of the head, when they get stuck in that, that is what I go for in life because I know for a fact that means that the person's subconscious and not really aware of how they feel. And it's not like a thing I attack, it's a thing I become aware of because a lot of people turn to like narcissistic rage over things when that is affected because I don't know what it is, but they think that is who they are. And what you really are is a mammal, and every mammal uses the neocortex. The reptilian like part of the brain is an old redundant part of the brain that is a stage in our conscious thought. So what happens is when people have an emotional reaction, it goes up the it's like the medulla up like up abdullah oblongata or something like that. It basically it's like it looks like the eye of Horus, like your brain when it's in half, right? What happens is it goes up your brainstem, it goes to the reptilian part, and then when you hold that emotion and feeling, eventually it goes out to the brain and it expands out further. And the further you feel an emotion and own it, the further it goes into the neocortex and you become conscious. That's what apes do. If you ever watch an ape, if you watch a silverback and it's playing and they're playing with each other, those are the biggest emotional manipulators ever in the world, right? They piss each other off like crazy, but they're testing each other. And the way they do it is through play. And if you want, I love watching silverbacks and apes because they are fantastic. They are so intelligent. It's so fun because they know for a fact that they piss each other off. It's a social thing. And like you watch them, man, and they'll get in each other's face, but they know the line. They know where the lines to cross. And like there'll be one that are more emotionally aware than the other, and it'll test the others, and he'll realize because he's self-conscious, so he's like self-aware. So he's like he tests all the other males, you know, the alpha or whatever, or the more outgoing, cheeky one will be like he'll test all the other males. I've seen so many videos where the other one will be like pouting, but like not like be like puffing and puffing like because the other one's just pissing him off, like, you know, doing things, throwing grass at him, you know, just silly, childish gestures. He'll sit there and just throw a bit of grass at him like that, and he'll be like, the fuck, and he'll get him angry, and then he'll get in his face and he'll run up and down like, ooh, and it like pisses. That is a play on the reptilian brain. Anger, and only anger, is kept in the reptilian. When you let an emotion be just an emotion, it's not conscious. When you're aware of what you're feeling, that's when it becomes conscious. But it requires allowing. It requires allowing that stuff to go through your mind, allowing those things to be and feel. It feels uncomfortable at first, but the more you let that happen, the more you let your mind go through. It's like, oh yeah, and it's like kids are good at it. Kids are good at lying about it. That's the best part. You watch a kid. Kids are so good at going through their emotions, but they'll lie about it. And later on, they'll be like, oh, babies are fantastic at it. they're very good at learning how to react to their emotions, but that's how you know they know what they're feeling. So when you grow up, you kind of like learning on how to express that rather than just react to it. So it you become more of a conscious, autonomous ape in a way. That's what humans are. Like just it's funny, like, but I'm madly into this stuff. Like, so I'm going on tangents. I was meant to go on RuneScape or whatever, but this type of stuff, like, I'm madly interested in. Because it's like I'm one of those guys that like I have my emotions in check, like, because I love them, man. Like I love my feelings, man. I love my emotions. It's like it makes me who I am. Like it's so fun. Like my best friends, like in the day back in the day, we were all like the apes, man. You know, we just piss each other off, and then we found new ways of pissing each other off, and we were so good at it. But we find it funny. We'd find it funny. We'd call each other's moms. We'd say all sorts of stupid shit. It's childish behavior, but it's like conscious. You know, when you know you're being a kid, and it's funny. Because people forget that, and they get caught up in it, and that's when you realize they are actually a child. When you behave like a child in front of somebody, and they don't know the difference when you're having them on, it's like they are a kid, like you know, inside, like that's the best part about it. It's like fuck you know. But when people behave like that, they're not worth like you know, if they're having you on, they're having you on. But if people are generally like that all the time, they're not worth being around. Like, honestly, they're a waste of space. Be a liability. They're like one bad thing happening to them for being a train wreck. You know what I mean? It's just like they're a train wreck waiting to happen. It's funny, but that's just life and that's just nature. But that's why I worry about the narcissism, and I worry about it myself as well. I worry that when I make conscious choices like buying computers and motorcycles, that I'm doing it for the right reasons and not just for my ego. That I'm doing it for. I know you shouldn't live by reasons, but I check that my reasoning's honest and um, not just like, oh, I'm trying to impress someone or I'm trying to have a thrill, or I try and make sure that I'm getting something out of it that's not just what it looks like, you know? And that's how I live by. So I don't know, like I worry about those things in myself because I'm aware of emotions and how they work, but I'm conscious of those things in my decisions, and I don't make it a big thing. It's not a deep thing. It's not like, oh, woe is me, you know. I wonder how this is. What will this turn into? I just think, well, how is this going to affect me? Is this really authentic me, or am I just, you know, am I buying into some bullshit, or really, am I doing this for the right reasons? You know, am I really trying to grow as a person, or is this going to make me shrink? You know. Is it going to make me come out, or is it going to make me retract? You know, am I going to walk with my shoulders back, head held high, or is my head going down, my shoulders down, and I'm going to come in? Like I don't want to retract no more. I want to expand out. You know, like that's how it is. So like that's why I'm conscious about these decisions and things. But I always come. What I find is that the better I get and the more successful I become in life, the more I clash with the older generation. So many times, especially women. I clash with older women so much so, and I have absolute utmost respect for them. Most of them I was raised by women, right? So my mum, her friends, I'm used to being around mature women, right? And I'm thinking of Alison right now. My mum's like old best friend. Like she was fantastic. I loved Alison. She was funny. She was like she was daft, man. Like she was daft, but she was lovely. Like she had the heart of gold, man. And she was always like she had that daft laugh. It's like hey. It's funny, like. But she's just such a good woman. Like honestly, it's crazy. And obviously her ex-husband probably don't believe so, but I really enjoyed her company. I thought she was a good woman. She's still about. I think she worked for the post office or something. She probably still works there. But she's a lovely woman, and like it's just I've been around a lot of mature women, but I find as I've gotten older, I seem to clash with mature women. I don't know why. I'm failing to understand why. But it makes me want to quit things. It makes me want to just not bother because I feel like it's like a um like now that I'm older, it's like I'm the son or the ex-husband, or the. I feel like I've become that kind of guy in the. Oh, he's the one that's single. He's the one that lives alone. You know, he's like the enemy, like the villain of the story all the time, and I'm just like, what the fuck? You know, I find myself in those situations all the time. He's the dangerous one. He's the fear, and I'm always the face of fear for people. And I'm like, what? Like, do you know what I mean? Like, what the fuck is it I've done? Like, all I've done recently is quit. I quit video games for years. I quit smoking. I quit drinking. I quit takeaways. I exercise more. Well, I've always exercised. That's always been a thing for me. Um, I start cooking for myself more. I make sure my house is clean and tidy every day, like top to bottom. No, nothing left. Floors get mopped, carpets get cleaned, bedding gets changed, washing gets done. Pots get organized, washed, and ready for the next day. Like I've been making sure I stay on top of things. I stock my house properly. I've been making sure I go top notch. Like and just making the effort because I feel like it's self-love in it. If you put the effort in for yourself then it's like telling yourself you love yourself. You're worth it, man. Pay for those things, get those things, eat properly. Don't skip out. Don't go. Oh, it's a bit too expensive to buy those food. If you've got the money, buy it. It's well worth spending your money on the food. You're worth it. It's like that's the point. Like the thing is for me, it's like a lot of people don't do that enough. And that's where I worry about like how when Asmongold was saying it earlier, it was like this narcissism, this psychopathy. It's like lack of understanding and caring of feelings, which is psychopathy, and then narcissism, which is obviously we know narcissism. Everyone knows narcissism. Every child exhibits narcissism somehow, wanting sweets, wanting to stay up late, wanting to not sleep, not wash, not there. It's dead easy. Narcissism's the ego, isn't it? It's obvious. Everyone knows narcissism. You can't be a narcissist, but you can exhibit a lot of narcissism. Everybody knows what that stuff is. But it's like we all go through stages like we've all got some degree of narcissism, and it's your ego. As much as you would love to have an egoless life, it's not true. Like as much as your dark side is as much as your light side, and without the dark you can't shine. Like your dark side will help you bring you to your light, and knowing your ego, not eliminating it, but eliminating the impact, and knowing your ego is what will help you bring you to your light side, and understanding that the things that you would think is dark is actually quite positive, and although it seems negative, you can find positivity in it. It's where in the darkness you will find the light, like 100%. I've learned this time and time again, and although my mind doubts myself and second guesses, I find myself prove myself wrong all the freaking time. I'm like, no, just stick to it, man. You'll be fine. No, I'll be fine. And then it's like, oh yeah, it was fine. What the hell? It's like a major misunderstanding somehow. I don't know, but bottom line, it's like I learned a lot in life, and it's just weird to see like Asmongold's like on the other end of the world, like is from the US, and even he's gone through similar things, and I can see it in him, like I can see it in his head and his body and his face, how he is and how he holds himself. I can see he's been through these similar experiences where he's like, he's seriously considered the deeper parts of himself and really not just like, oh well, I might believe this. He's wrote it down in his soul, I believe this, and that's it, bang. And he's had those experiences where he's made him become such a person. And he was saying it earlier, the psychopathy and narcissism. It was like when he came through, it's like, yeah, it's altruism, and it's like, yeah, it's right, that's right. I've had the same thoughts. It's just weird that on one end of one end of the world to another, you can have the same thoughts and feelings. It's really weird. Just wouldn't believe so. But there you go. It's like for me, I just wish that I don't know. I wish people would be more compassionate, to be honest. It hurts my feelings like a lot when I see others not being kind to one another. It's just that sad. Okay. I've seen
Hey, buddy, what you doing?
they're on the indoor camera, and the cat can hear the owner, and it's just like what the
Hey, buddy,
fuck.
what you doing?
Hey, Buxton. Hi, baby. You being a good kitty?
No.
Hi. Hi, Frankie. It's Daddy. Oh my God.
Hey, Buxton.
Huh?
Meow.
I'm gonna be
Oh,
home soon,
hit replay.
okay?
Johnny.
Buddy, what
The
you
fuck?
doing?
The cat just did a flip. Oh my god.
Jerry.
Oh.
You are so
Hey, are you okay, dude? Hey, are you okay?
Oh, oh, my back.
That looks like it's going to be painful. Oh my god. Yo, you okay? Bro.
My back.
Whoa. Fucking hell. I'm still just fucking knackered after today. Just can't wait for my PC, but I can't get my head, like, I can't get my head out of it, man. Like, I've been spending the last 2 years riding my bike, and then, like, I've not spent the last 12 days because I couldn't. And then it was just this, it was just fucking abysmal today. I just don't believe it. I'm in denial, man. I'm completely in denial about it all. I'm just like, what the fuck? It's like the way the woman, like, kicked me out of the place today, as if I was, like, a danger to everyone just being there. Like, it was so pathetic. Like, it was so fucking weird. It was like, I drove so badly that I don't deserve to be at their place. It's like, what the fuck? Like, who the fuck do you think they are? Like, seriously. It's so weird. Like, it was just dead weird. I don't understand. Like, it was like a punishment. I couldn't chill with them or be there because I didn't perform well or some shit. It's like, what the fuck? Dude. Wait, it just flopped. Sabino. Trent, who the hell's this? Trent Reznor? No. Some other Trent that I don't know. Mourinho? What? Western Canada, what's going on? New scum, what's that? These Democrats have ruined California. Mate, honestly, California's disgusting these days. The communities that have been built in the hardships of Canada, right? California. And what's left, I don't even know. Look at the state of these people, man. It's fucking mental. Excuse me. Excuse you. Look at the fucking state of him, man. What the hell's he doing? Jesus. There's definitely some PCP shit. This is the problem with the world right now. This is like how people get into these messes. It's obviously drugs and mental illness. Like I don't find that fearful. I just see someone that needs help, you know? Like I'm not scared of this. This does not affect. This is like narcissism. This is like baby shit, but in an adult body. That's why it's scary. This is like drugs, not taking care of himself, not washing, not cleaning, not having a job, not like living, like being a human. This is being a baby, and that's what happens. Like they do baby things. Look at the state of him, man. Nobody's fucking looking after him. That guy obviously needs help. He's obviously on some fucking mad drugs, screaming for his life. He has no idea where he is. He obviously thinks there's like fucking spiders crawling on him or some shit. It's so sad. People don't care, man. People don't care about these people. It's fucking mental. Definitely not funny, that's for sure. But this is the thing, like, the people in power are obviously fine. They've got houses and money and things, and they're doing well, so forget everyone else, right? It doesn't matter. Like when we live in abundance and there are people that live without, the only right thing to do is help. Like it's obvious, but it shows though. It's like life and the balance, isn't it? You've got people with more than enough, and then people without. And I've been a person without, I've been a person that's lived without. I've never gone to that length where I've been homeless or whatever. I've been close, and I've had a full-time job. Like I've worked more hours than a normal full-time job, and almost still become homeless. Like because of well, terrible landlords for starters, and then unfit living conditions, and also like just terrible opportunities. If there's no infrastructure, if there's no places available, then it's game over. Like you've got no place to live, like, and that's it. And the infrastructure doesn't help you. Like being homeless and going to like places like Shelter, which is a charity in the UK, they can't help you unless you're on the street, and they won't help you unless you've been on the street for months. If you end up on the street and you call Shelter and you say, "Help, I'm on the street, what do I do?" They will not help you. They will say, "Sign up to this, go to there, say it." It's shit. Like honestly, it's terrible. They don't have it's a charity set up to make it look like people care, and they don't help. They don't do anything. They'll, these guys go up to people in the street and talk to them. "Oh, you all right? How you doing? Is he all right?" The guy's on the street. Don't be fucking stupid. You know what I mean? It's like they don't need an ear to lend. They need a fucking meal. They need a place to live. They need basics. There's something called Maslow's triangle, right? And like a wise guy that I used to know he said, following Maslow's triangle in your hierarchy of needs is like a lifelong thing, right? I'll find it here, Maslow's triangle. And basically, if you're an addict, this is what they show you. And I think he suffered with addiction as well at one point. I've got like an addictive personality. I have to watch out for the things I consume because I've become like addicted. But this thing here is literally what they show every single. It's simple psychology, right? But the point is that this is a hierarchy of needs for everybody, right? And it's Maslow's hierarchy of needs. And what they do is in like rehab, they show people this to put in perspective the things that you should focus on in life, because everybody focus on, like Asman was saying, he was saying about narcissism and psychopathy. This is what you should focus on: is the psychological needs, your safety needs, your love and belonging, your self-esteem, and your self-actualization. But these all interlink with each other, and when you work from the bottom up, it works, and you will find it's like a mastery. So you will find you'll fluctuate, you'll go up and down this level, and so for some people it's very easy. You know, if you've had a very good like upbringing, and everybody has the thing, but you'll find some people find it easier than others. Some people reach self-actualization like no tomorrow, like just easy, and a lot of others, struggle with it. And if you look, it's just physiological needs: air, water, food, shelter, sleep, clothing, and reproduction. Simple stuff, like literally simple stuff, right? Safety needs: personal security, feeling safe. Like feeling safe is like a priority, and it's only the secondary level. Like if you do not feel safe, if you do not know what safe feels like, you need to put that into perspective of why you don't feel safe. That is so important. Employment, again, is another one. Resources, health, and property. These are basic. So property is like shelter, but it's like property is like belongings, and it's a little bit more than just a roof over your head. It's like a permanent roof over your head, And again, loving and belonging. You need friends and you need intimacy. Intimacy doesn't have to be a relationship, like romantic. Intimacy is like knowing that somebody cares for you and knowing that someone will look out for you. That's intimacy. Knowing that people can be vulnerable, and that can be for man, woman, dog, child, anything. Like knowing that somebody can be vulnerable with you is super important. It connects you with your family. It connects you with yourself. So a sense of connection is just not to others, but to yourself. So like when I had a lot of friends, I felt a lot more together with myself because of my friends. And same with esteem as well. Like when you've got esteem and you've got these three in order, you have like, people will see it. I've seen it in myself, and I've seen how people react to me. It's like they'll give you respect. You'll start seeing that people will just respect you. They will see you and they will respect you. They will know you've been working on yourself. You hold yourself differently. You shine in a different way. They will respect you, and that'll help your self-esteem. It'll improve your status. You'll be recognized. I've got that in work. Like I've started to get respect, recognition. It gives me a bit of a status, but it's self-esteem. It makes me feel good about myself. It gives you the strength, and it brings freedom. these things bring choices. Choices for me is freedom, right? And when you have high self-esteem, or just some esteem, you don't have to have a high self-esteem, just not low, that it brings that freedom because you continue to make choices. You don't stick in convention and you don't do the same things. You make new choices, which brings a new reality to yourself. You know, you change your mind, you change who you are, and you step into a better person, a better version of yourself. The same person, but better, you know, like the same person, but, you know, more put together, more energized, like, you know, more authentic. And like the better you get at dealing with these things, the more easy these things are to be. Like it stays. Like a fine example for me is that for the last 10 to 15 years, I've been struggling with property because there hasn't been any like affordable housing like ever. And one day I sat there in my old apartment and it was very expensive, it was very cold, it was very damp, and it was very lonely. The people around me a lot of them were foreign, so it was hard for me to connect to people. I'm not ribbing foreigners. I know a lot of people bash foreigners in this country, and I don't agree with it. But it is a struggle to connect with one another. There is a stigma about it, but I don't blame people coming to this country for that reason. You know, in those situations you need to look to the people in power because it's not people's fault if you want to try and have a better life. You know, for me to say a person to come to this country seeking a better life to deny that to them would be just immoral. So that's my opinion on the subject. But it's very hard for a guy of my age, of my stature and my sort of lifestyle. My generation's very, very progressive, you know, and if there are immigrants that or foreigners that are of old family values, it's very hard to connect with. My generation's very different. Like we've had a very different upbringing. I'm not saying it's impossible. Of course, people are compassionate, but what I'm trying to get at is that to relate to each other. Sometimes in my situation, I've found it very difficult, and I've definitely tried. You know, I've not like withdrew and denied, and I've changed, and you know it doesn't help. Like seriously, it really doesn't. Be more authentic and suffering personally for being your authentic self, in my personal opinion, is better than trying to change to fit in with people that you don't fit in with. 100%. That's a hard lesson to learn, but that's a fact. For me, anyway. That's what I found. Um, and that's the top one there. So after like bashing your way at all of these levels of whatever you can deal with, whatever you can obtain, the self-actualization one is like one that's sort of like a beacon of light that just lights up. When so the rest of it's like you know when you connect like a circuit and then the light comes on and it goes bing and that's the last moment and you're like that's what the self-actualization is, that when you have that beacon and you figure out all the other things and you turn the light on and it goes and the top of the tower just lights up and it just goes bing. That's what self-actualization is, and that's what it feels like. It's like eureka. It's like it's fucking brilliant, honestly. But like no, yeah, so basically like all of these things interlink, and you can feel these things. If you lose one, you can feel the drop. Your heart will drop, and you will feel a sense of, you know, like you'll be coming down. What, like, have you ever heard of anger and depression? Like you're on an upward spiral or a downward spiral. That's that. So when you're on a downward spiral, some of these will be compromised, so to speak. So it's very good to be aware of what's being compromised and how you can prevent it and what you can work towards, because it just gives you self goals, gives you life goals. You don't have to be anxiety about it, but I think the reason why most people are anxious about these things is because they don't know. People aren't stupid, and I do not insult people's intelligence. I know for a fact people are aware, but what I know for a fact is people don't do the right thing, they don't say the right thing, and it leads to very conflicting beliefs and opinions and worldviews. But these, in 1,000,000% is what it is, like 100%. And it's like any of these things can be infringed, but they can be, as much as you've lost can be replaced, which is what is. Like that's the best part about life. And you'll find these things will change throughout life. So you'll hit every single goal here. You'll have all the food, water, and shelter, and sleep and clothing and sex you can have, and you can have all the personal security, employment, resources, health, property, and you can have fantastic relationships, intimacy, family, and all that. And then they will change one day. Those needs, I mean needs, not people. They, as in the needs, will change, and one day you will just become better at dealing with how your needs change, and that's it. And you feel it, like you feel it in yourself. It's like a part of yourself dying, and then something else is being reborn. And you got to trust the process, and knowing that you're stepping into another part of yourself, and it's like, yeah, it's good, but it's bad, and it's like I trust it, but I don't. Like every time I'm like, I swear, I'm doing good, I swear. It's like it's good, it's like it's not, it's good. Go through all these emotions in my head. Like, well, I go through the emotions, and in my head's like doing the separate thing where it's like, man, it's like my old mind, my old ego, like trying to like hold on to things, and I'm like, but it's all good. But this is what I say to people. This is important. We all struggle with some type of like addiction or whatever. What it could be substance, it could be social media, it could be anything. Some addictions are good. Some are bad. It's just life. It's about making the positive habits and not the negative ones. But it's easy to see, and even working too much, workaholics. I'm talking to you. Spend time with your family and your loved ones. They miss you. They love you. But I'm one of those, to be honest. But to be fair, I'm on my own right now, so it's good that I do that because I can work towards future goals as well, and then bring myself around people that I want to be around, or maybe attract them. I don't know. I don't know how it's going to work. I'm not like going to be like, oh no, I should have everyone come to me, or I go to that, whatever. I'm not bothered. Like how it works, it's probably more likely they'll come to me because I've grounded a lot of things in. I've got quite a safe environment now. But like I said, it's took me 10, 15 years because of the situation in the UK to have a secure property. In my last apartment, the windows were falling through, and my motorcycle was, being like stolen, and all sorts of things, and people were doing nothing about it. Police didn't really care, and the landlord didn't really care, and the neighbours had no idea, and it's just terrible, terrible, honestly. But that's life, isn't it? But I had faith, and I knew that. I remember one day I sat there and I said to myself that I need a home. I need it. Like I need that home. And then my prayers were answered. There was like a connection, a voice, or whatever. But I felt that light turn on, and I felt that in my mind, in my body. I felt it. I felt it. I said to myself, I need that home. And it's like I remember that day that I didn't have a home. Oh, I've had a home when I was younger, and I remember the day, and it had been 10 years that had gone by, 15 years had gone by, and I still not found my home. And I was like, I need it. I need it. And whether I make it or find it, I didn't care. I was like, I need it. And things just started falling into place. I was getting put in the right places, and it just started falling into place. I've got this place now. It's affordable. It's integral. It's safe. It's warm. It's got hot water. People take these things for granted, and they think, oh, you've always got hot water. It's like, no, you don't always have just cold water. Sometimes you don't even have warm house. Honestly, the last place was freezing. It was just constantly wet as well. In the mornings, it had such a condensation problem, and it was just damp all the time and freezing. And no matter what I'd do, I'd have all the windows open in the day to keep the damp down. I'd have the heating on, and it was just crap. Like it just didn't work. And my dad was trying to help out so much, but he can't have the answers for me. He doesn't know what's best for me in a sense. He's trying to buy heaters and things, and he's trying his best. Obviously, he cares. But the thing is I needed to not band-aid it. I needed to solve the problem and address the wound, not put a band-aid on. So that's what I did. But at that day that I said to myself, I said I need good property, and it came to me. It was like my time, and I could feel it, and I the moment that I knew I was heard, I could feel it, and that I knew that there was something. That was that moment that I realized that something was there. So I was like, let's go for it. And people just say like these houses, like these like it's like social housing or whatever. People saying like it's nothing. And it's like, no man, trust me, it's not nothing. Like living in private housing's been fucking shit. Like it's the landlords don't care. They don't repair things. Things fall apart. It's been like that for years, and that's it. You know, up and shut up. You ain't got a choice. You know. They know you're on low income. They know you can't get out of it. They know you can't afford a car or anything else. They know you're stuck, and that's it. And then it's like, it's just so many people taking advantage of one another for extra money from elsewhere, but nobody actually goes to the source. Nobody goes, we need to sort government out. We all just go at each other. It's so sad. And that's just what keeps happening in the UK, and it's just going to be forever like that until we wake up. But nobody will listen. Maybe it'll take, I don't know, another generation to wake the masses up. But I'll wait. You know, I'll support. I'll support them following their dreams. I don't know. I'll be there. But it's like until people realize that it's like how you treat each other. You know, the awareness of who we vote for. You know, what you vote for with your feet as well. You know, like the choices you make in life. If you keep voting with your feet in the wrong way, trust me, people will. You know, those choices get reinforced. The more you choose one thing, the more there's a demand for it. The more there's demand for it, the more it's supplied. Goes with everything. Food, people, whatever. All the same. Just that's the method. I mean, like it's all the same way. Like, but it's so sad. Like, I feel disappointed, but at the same time, it's like, you know, what was I expecting really? But I guess that's just like my liberal sort of mindset. Like, you know, expecting to go into the new world. Like, yay! Like it's all gonna happen overnight. It's like, no, Rome wasn't built in a day. But it is important. It is super important. But I don't know. I'm positive. I'm quite positive for the future though. I do think things will be better. Um yeah. Just gotta yeah, just gotta, you know, be hopeful. Get your needs met. Focus on yourself. That's what I found. Anything that keeps taking you away from yourself, probably not worth it. If it's helping yourself, then it's not worth it, you know. That's why I started like streaming and stuff because it's just like I don't know, it's just fun. It's kind of what I do anyway. I just talk to myself and just go over things, but it helps like with life. But yeah, here we go. While Maslow initially proposed that lower needs must be relatively satisfied before higher ones, modern research suggests people often pursue multiple needs simultaneously. It's like I was saying earlier, through those like hierarchy needs, you'll find that you'll just they all link. So you'll get like all your shelter and your food, sleep, clothing, and maybe not like reproduction or whatever, but you know, there is um a slight opinion on whether that's actually a need or not, but whatever. You know, people are different, aren't they? Um, these all link, you know, so depending on your situation, you might secure good property and it covers all of these. You know, you got secure good employment and property, and then you've got good personal security, resources, and health, and then you've just covered the bottom two quite easily just by having a good job and a good property. You've covered the lot, like for the first two, and the longer you have that, the more stronger you become in that, and then having friendships and intimacy and family, you become less like a wild animal, like I feel most of the time. Like I'm like, nah. I'm like that fucking that dog or that cat that you see in the fucking like in the shelter that's just not been like looked after for ages, and you just like it's just constantly just growling at people just all the time, like "Rah. Don't trust. Rah." That's just like that's just trauma, and like when you've been like living in a shit situation for ages, like that your mind tricks you into believing like fight and flight's the only way. But what the hell is this? some friggin'. I think they were funding something. I don't know why. Shipping costs or whatever. Yeah, I think it's the shipping cost. It looks like somewhat more though. No way, was that how much VAT was? 20% on that, yeah. VAT coming up to 350 quid. Robbing bastards, that, isn't it? 20% of that. The actual items cost 1700, but the VAT makes it go up to like 2200 or something. That's this country for you. Like, you know, something that would have cost 1500, 1700 quid in another country. It's like 350 quid extra plus, you know. Wow. But yeah, that's the other thing as well. Like looking into how our money works, like seeing why the rate of inflation increases, and looking at why the rate of inflation increases and things, and like looking at what our leaders are doing with our budgets and taxes, and learning like quite a lot of things, like our income tax is quite communist, and like how we have like council tax as well. So we have income tax, council tax. We have lots of different taxes, VAT. We have tons of different like taxes. But the problem is that none of these are actually covering the budget, and we find that a lot of situations like COVID, a lot of people have made a lot of money over these things, and it's gone unnoticed. And people have been taking advantage. There's a lot of exchange of wealth that's been very unfair. Like capitalism is meant to be fair game, but there's been a lot of uncapitalistic ways of been like that's happened. Most of the time it's fear induced. So if the government can convince you, or if not just the government, many people can. If I can instill an idea into you where I can make you believe that green cloths are a need in your life, and that you need a green cloth, and somehow I come up with advertisements and all these reasons to why you need this green cloth, then you go out and buy green cloths. And it just so happens that even though I'm pushing a campaign for you to buy green cloths because it's dangerous not to have one, I also sell green cloths as well. And it's like, oh, right, okay. And that's what's been going on with the government over COVID. You know, funnily enough, and you're seeing it, there's a sex scandal going on at the same time. That shows that there is other stuff going on behind the scenes. Is that they were pushing for vaccines that weren't being made, that were being trialed, and that I studied vaccines in college, and I know how it was a huge topic in biology for me. So I was very savvy with how vaccines are made, and the way this vaccine was made wasn't the same way, and it was pushed as trialed without using private sort of sectors. It was done with the public, which has never been done before. So I feel as though a lot of the times with the UK, we're going through a lot of stress and financial strife because we were taken advantage of. And being COVID, the vaccine production, it was all done off taxpayers' money, but it was all done through fear. And from what I've seen, there weren't many people that were ill. And although people were saying, oh, well, it's COVID, I genuinely believe these people were ill through stress and through placebo effect, that these people believed that they had COVID. It's like my granddad died around the same time, and he had emphysema. He'd been suffering for many years. He'd smoked his entire life, and he suffered a long time, right? And he unfortunately died around COVID time, and he had emphysema of the lungs since. We've always known it. He knew it. We all knew it. What can you do? He'd smoked so much that it was inevitable. It was irreversible damage, and we knew it. And what can you do? Grandad David, unfortunately, he's gone, and he suffered, but he was a good man, and like, you know, it was what it was. But unfortunately, the UK government tried to put him down as a COVID statistic, even though we knew for easily 5 years he was suffering with emphysema. He was constantly on tests, and it was obvious his symptoms. You could see it. Like, it made sense what the doctors were saying, that he had emphysema. He could not breathe properly, and he had smoked Golden Virginia pouches of baccy, 50-gram pouches of baccy daily. Like, you know what I mean? He just would sit there and smoke. That's what he did. Like, and that's what happened, you know? again, coming back down to the addiction and narcissism and all that. You know, Granddad David, like, honestly, he was fantastic, man. And, you know, these are the reasons why, like, I guess, like, you know, we overlook things, you know, with our loved ones. We see things, but, you know, we don't say because we love them, you know. And that was just another reason. Like, that man was, like, fantastic, honestly. He was, like, yeah, I said this last time on stream as well, but I spoke to my mum about it recently. He, like, which is he's my granddad on my mum's side. But he was like, he used to record us like Star Wars like videos and make us brownies and all sorts. He was like, you wouldn't believe it, but because he was a boomer, obviously. But it's like he was the housewife, and he even worked full time as well. But he was like that. He loved it. He loved cooking. He loved baking. He loved all that. He was old school. And I can still see his face, man. It's fucking hilarious. Like he was fantastic, man. But the UK government tried to put him down as a COVID statistic, and my mother went mental. She knew, we knew, it was proof in the pudding. He tried to go down as a COVID statistic. The coroner put that down, and my mum went crazy. And they changed it. They changed it to what they originally was before the COVID. So I say, how many people, like my granddad, got put down as a COVID statistic? And it's so sad to believe that people would give in to fear and not choose love over situations like that, because it's so sad. He'd suffered, and his suffering would have gone in vain of knowing that they would lie about something like that and use his death as to take advantage, to sway the minds of people. It's so sad. It's awful. Like, it genuinely is awful. Like, but that's the world we live in, you know, where like headlines make money, you know. So if I lie about things, or maybe not, my father coined it economic with the truth. I was very good at that growing up. I would say one thing, but not all the things. But I think that's because I grew up like with split family, with split parents. He thought I was lying to him, but I just didn't want to tell him the things that my mum would maybe say in anger about him, and vice versa probably. So he thought I was being economic with the truth, but I think it was just like, you know, I just didn't want to say everything because I just don't want to hurt people's feelings. But yeah, it's that, you know, people are economic with the truth, but for all the wrong reasons. You know what I mean? They're trying to make money out of people and take advantage. So that's why I say, like, you know, just be aware of things, and like don't research, don't take things for gospel. People are smarter than that. It's well worth looking into things. But it's just, that's what's been going on with it's like, through my experiences of my life, it's no joke that these things are the way they are. And I see it and I just think it's obvious what's happening with the world. We've lost touch with what's important, like, seriously. And it sounds so cliche, niche, but it's like, it sounds so cliche, but it's like, it's so true though. Like, we hear about it. We've all heard about the conspiracies and all this and all that, and we've been like, yeah, whatever, man. I agree with you. You're so right. But then when you piece it together and you put your life in like examples of, and it's like, it's so obvious that it's true. But it's like, even myself, of knowing these things aren't conspiracies. These, like, I would say it's conspiracy to conspire, but that's even not true. It's like, it's definitely a fact. Like, that's just how it is. It's so easy to see. I can see why the liberals are going, like, I say the liberals like I'm not liberal or anything, but the extreme liberals, the far left, I can see why they're acting the way they're acting, but it's definitely not the way that's got to go. It reminds me of the hippies of the 60s. You know, it's powerful movement, but it was not the way to deal with the problems that we're dealing with, you know. I can see why it's turned that way, but I just 100% know for a fact that's not the way it's gonna have to go, because it isn't other alternatives. I just hope that Starmer makes the right choices for the future. You do it with the generations, you know. With every new generation, with every new generation, change comes, and obviously with proper guidance, that generation will, you know, pave a new way. Like, will definitely, like, yeah, they'll change things for the better, but it just takes time, doesn't it? And even like older generations, as older generations go and they'll come in, you know, things change. But I think it's going to be all positive. I just hope Starmer just invests in for the future and doesn't listen to all this outrage of like, oh, we're not getting what we want now. It's like, well, you're not a child. You can hold out. We've not got what we want for years. What difference is it now? Do you know what I mean? It's like, what's so different about now? What, because Starmer's in power? It's like people listen to the Conservatives too much, as if the Conservatives aren't just looking out for themselves. It's obvious. That there was a Scottish guy that stood up in Question Time, and he's genuinely, you could see it. The guy suffered. He was like almost in tears. Like he's just suffered throughout his life. And Rishi Sunak stood there with his £700 million in his net worth and said everything will be all right. And it's like everything will be all right. That guy suffered severely, and you could tell like how he was just explaining things, and it was just like it was so sad. Like, and it really was sad. But the Conservatives could just stand there and be like, it'll be fine. We'll look out after you. It's like, yeah, right. Like the same Conservatives that put me through 0-hour contracts as I finally got into employment. The same Conservatives that got rid of most of social housing and like all like benefits and things. The same Conservatives that put like all the new generation of like, I'm savvy with computers, obviously I'm on stream, right? The same Conservative government that took advantage of all those people and flipped the workplace. These jobs that I would have been working towards, 30k a year, 35k a year, with the Conservatives in place, 20k a year, 25k a year, because they need those for their companies, because obviously computers are mandatory now. They needed cheap labour, so that's how they figured that one out. And nobody questions these things. It's like, oh, it's very typical and very convenient how these things become mandatory, and then the labour becomes cheaper. But we don't pay the people for the same job. We just make the job cheaper and convince everyone else it's fine. It's like, how does that work? It's like, oh, yeah, the top is making decisions, not helping the bottom. Very, very typical. But again, that's another example, if I put my life into play, how I can see I've been taken advantage of by just being, good at something. And I'd love for them to take advantage of me in the proper way and train me with further things and further studies and, pay me properly, and I could continue to, grow my ICT skills or whatever. But no, it was just consistent, well, you can put up with things and put up with living in house shares and put up with just not having. It's like, nah, I refuse to just. It's again, it comes down to serving the servants again. It's like, no, I refuse to be taken advantage of in that way. It's so bad. But again, I would say I just hope that people just ease off pressure with labour and stop like expecting instantaneous results. We need nuclear power. We need solar panel farms and wind farms. We need affordable housing, and we need new infrastructure, new jobs, and that's it. Those 5 things, it'll take 10 years to make, unfortunately. That's how it is. But if you read the headlines, there's plenty of places where they're like, oh, well, plenty of people, we want change now. It's like, we can't get it now. Like, it's like, I voted Reform, and Reform are talking about opening coal mines, and it's like, are you joking? Like, it's like, talk about a step backwards. You know what I mean? Like, going for coal mines and stuff, like, who the hell would do that? Nuclear power, definitely. At least nuclear power could meet the demand, and it's clean energy. Whereas, like, nowadays, our practices are so much better. Like, our practices are, like, so much safer. Nuclear power is so much safer. We've got AI, we've got robotics, and we've got better alloy materials and better like workforce, and it's safer. It's so much better than it was like 10, 15 years ago when we had nuclear power. But that's why we had cheaper bills, So that's the other reason. Plus, we have to watch out. Like, what's happening in Ukraine. Our power is coming from there, like a good portion of our power comes from like Russia and Ukraine, and it's like they're fighting a war over that right now, like over territory and space for more power, like for mountains of power and oil. Like this, we need to take a responsibility, I think, of powering ourselves and moving ourselves away from like war, basically, because it's just it's ridiculous. But yeah, sad, isn't it? Oh, they're the things I think about. They're the things I think about. It's hard to relate to people, you know, like, but it just makes me feel connected when I see like someone like Asmund where he was talking about these things, not in depth, but someone I questioned his integrity, and it was like, I think it was kind of harsh because they were calling him a psychopath, and he's absolutely not a psychopath. So it was just like, I don't know, proper weird. He's anything but a psychopath. He seems like a man that I would have known like years ago growing up. And that's the funny part about him. He's like, he has such a nostalgic feeling about him, like seeing his face. That might be because I grew up with a similar sort of group, like where we were like guys, video games, chilling. You know, it's all the same sort of thing. Even with his mum around, I had my mum around, and you know, it's just weird. Obviously, he's in America, but it's same, but different. Galago car. What the hell? It's like a friggin' gremlin. With little feet. Yeah. IRL Pokemon. Like a gymnast, that jump at the end. Look at the gymnast, look at it.
And I am telling you, it's like they're feeling something that they've never felt before. But you don't want to stop too early until you finally see them take a big, and that's when you know you're done. Take your thumb and...
I don't want to know. But yeah, that's Tom Morello. See, this is a cool guy. He's even got a nah t-shirt, look at that. We used to say that shit when we were kids. Nah.
For the hearts and the souls of the
Yeah, Mike Harmon, me and Mike used to say it. Nah.
Terror and injustice. It's a mother's cry to a child who's been separated, and her one hope is that her child at least pretends to remember her. This is a condition that's happened during the Trump administration, the Biden administration, the previous Trump administration, the Obama administration, and that it really goes out to those families that have been torn asunder. And we're certainly remembering them. My song, Pretend You Remember Me, is a song written for the hearts and the souls of the immigrant families who are being torn apart by state terror and injustice. It's a mother's cry to a child who's been separated.
Yeah, I shouldn't really listen to it on stream, I don't know. They'll probably like get me banned or some shit.
You can save £50.
She gets launched. Yeah, I don't know. Oh, I've seen this animation in 1987. So cool.
Per person. That's £200 off for a family of 4. We've got millions of free Nothing beats a Jet2 holiday. And right now,
She
you
dead?
can save £50 per person. That's £200 off for a family of 4. We've got millions of free
Ever since I was a kid, I've been the
Yeah, it's crazy to see. Like, I don't know if that video was actually real or whatever, but not Elon Musk. It's been verified. I don't know. Like, I really like seeing Elon. Like, after all the years of like when I used to see him when he was developing PayPal, and he was like the thin little nerdy guy in his room programming, and to see him now, like, it's brilliant to see. I know people hate him for some reason, but I don't understand why. I guess a lot of people expected him to change, which was funny. The guy's never going to change, man. He's definitely he is who he is. He was not going to change. He makes me laugh. He's just like he's like the I don't know. It's just funny because he's just like one of the most powerful people on the planet, and he just goes and trolls people online. It's like actually hilarious. If anyone can't understand, like, if anyone can not see like the comic, like the comedy value in that, like, you definitely need to like have a reevaluation of your life. It's fucking funny. He actually knows what he's doing as well. Here's another man that I'd buy, Keanu.
When is the John Wick 4 coming out? March. When is the
Dream of a day when I walk down the street and hear people talk about morality, sustainability, and philosophy instead of Kardashians. I don't know if he actually said any of those things. Either way, though, the guy's like awesome to be around. Like, everybody who's met him just like enjoys just being around him. Such a good guy. He seems like mega humble as well, and like his motorcycles are like no other. Career and mysterious persona have developed a loyal online following.
Now I know what it feels like to be completely starstruck.
The only stars that matter are the ones you look at when you dream.
There are rules, Jack. I want you to get this right.
He is the one.
Yeah, like Keanu's like by far person, movies, everything he's done. It's just bang on, man. He absolutely blows everybody out of the water in this whole entire world. Like, he's just like, he's just so fucking cool, man. Like, end of. He's just so humble. Oh, I was wearing his Arts, like an Arts t-shirt earlier. I bought a t-shirt from his company, not just from a merch store, from the merch store, from his company. It cost like fucking $40 for the delivery, but it was worth it.
I know that the ones who love us will miss us.
Ugh.
The feeling of being there, of walking the streets of the future, is really going to be breathtaking. You're breathtaking. You're all breathtaking.
You know, that's exact like what Keanu does is man is exactly what it is. It's just funny. He's just a chill guy, man. But I think it's like a mastery though. I don't think it's just like I don't know. I just think it's like a mastery of whoever you are and whatever you do. You know, like it's just cool to see like how he's like authentic. He's definitely had it rough, man. Like especially when River died. River Phoenix, man, those two were inseparable. They were like brothers, and it's just so sad. Like River ended up like he struggled with addiction, and Keanu just didn't deal with it very well. And same with his ex-girlfriend as well. He ended up losing his ex with a motorcycle crash or something. But he's like, yeah, that must be difficult. That's seriously difficult. But it's I don't know. It's why like I respect these men. Like the the bad things that happen to them, they haven't let become them sort of thing. So it's like it's just kind of like helped shape who they are. So I don't know. I don't know. I've seen this more often actually. Retweet if you want $1 trillion MC. Uh, cool. Easiest way to fix your scoliosis. The reason why people get scoliosis in this world is because they're like dealing with like tension in the back that they've not realized that they're dealing with. The UK's courts.
Sorry?
Oh, I'm not watching that. Fuck off. I'm not getting into the controversy. No, you're not going to be able to glide through the water in that. Shortly from Mexico, wanted for burglary. Thought this was a good idea to taunt US BP agents with a machete. From constantly writing content, drama alert. It's like things saying drama alert, and people like talking shit about him. Clarification, my dad was recently diagnosed with pancreatic cancer, so it would be time off to primarily help him. Treatment options are quite broad for now, so I'm waiting on that to make a decision. Yeah, so this is the hard part of being a streamer. So like me myself, I'm unknown. People don't see me. I'm like unknown, so I'm just literally expressing myself for the hell of it. Right? This guy has like an obligation to be. People are counting on him to be there. So it's kind of like a job. But it's just sad because it's like someone like Drama Alert, who's like an official Twitter account or X account, is like they've posted about him saying like he's taking time off. As if like it's drama alert, as if like he's like being dramatic. His dad's ill, like his dad's like I think he's been diagnosed like terminally ill, but I don't know. Like I don't no. In fact, no. He's saying it's treatable. I'm pretty sure he said it's treatable, and that will be fine. But regardless whether it's terminal or not, like his father's ill. Family comes first. It makes sense. Like it's not drama, but it just implies a lot, though, doesn't it? It's like, oh well, the dramatic Asmongold, might take a break from exhaustion, and it's like, well, he must just be exhausted, like. Holy crap. Here's this Pi thing. I'm a part of this Pi network as well. Pi is not merely a currency, it is the most humanized cryptocurrency project in the world, featuring genuine users who undergo KYC verification. It's like basically it's made the users of the network like extremely safe and valid. But what they're doing is they're trying to develop on the network with like dApps and just games in general. You mine it on your phone, you can mine it, but at the moment there isn't really anything to mine. It's like past the mining stage, but it's still possible to mine like fragments. But the main thing is that it's like a developed network. So they're trying to make networks that's safe for people to develop on, really. So they make apps, make games, just anything on the network in general. Some people have made it in South Korea. It's popular in South Korea, but they made the cryptocurrency a like cryptocurrency where it's like you can pay for coffee with it in like real time with like a what's the word? Like contactless, like on a card, yeah. So and probably with the phone as well, but yeah, it's just cool to see. These things are like being developed, and I think it's got potential. It's quite popular in South Korea, but it's like anything though. It could just be a gimmick. I kind of believe in the progress of it all, though. Like if it's not like Pi, then it could be something else. It could be another type of cryptocurrency, but I just believe in the infrastructure that is. Like whether it be Pi, whether it be whatever, I don't really care, to be honest. But just the fact that these things are being developed on, and people are just doing it out of their own passion. They're not doing it for money. Like the point is most of the devs don't earn anything from it. They're just involved with the making of. Yeah, I think it's pretty cool to see. So, yeah, I didn't realize how much like VAT was being put on my friggin' items. Kind of makes sense why things are far more expensive in this country. It says the gross price of it, excluding VAT, excluding tax, is 1,750, and then with it on, it's like an extra 351 pounds. It's just mad. But I think they've just refunded because I ordered it to be delivered on a Sunday, and it missed the deadline for the next Sunday, so they decided to deliver it to the next Sunday, and I was just like the following Sunday, and I was like, why? And they were like, oh, sorry about that, and then instantly, as soon as I've asked for them to send it the next day, they did. So I was like up in arms, like I was freaking out about. Well, I was pissed off about the computer, and then I was pissed off about my fucking my driving. Like everything this week has just kind of gone wrong. But I guess it seems that it might not be as bad as it appears. But I think I'm gonna call the stream there. Actually, I've just been chatting shit, to be honest, for the last 2 hours. But I was gonna play RuneScape and stuff, but I'm just not up for it. I'll be back on tomorrow. I should have my computer, but I'm just too tired. Like I'm exhausted after today. It's 1 o'clock. I'm gonna get up like midday-ish, I think. And I'll obviously after the computer arrives, or after I hear about it, at least if I hear about it, I'll probably pop on and then I'll switch over and I can show it off. I can showcase it actually. I can showcase what's available. I've gone for like the high end, but it's not highest, and it's fantastic. It's gonna last me a long time, which is what I want. I want it to last a while. It should be good. It's exciting stuff. I've not had a decent computer for a long time. I mean, I've got a 2070 Super as like the main feature in my computer at the moment, which at the moment we're on 50 series, so for any tech nerds out there that just love gadgets and stuff, they'll just be sniggering, thinking, what the fuck, that's 2070. But I know for a fact, like, if you're a true tech nerd, you'll still buzz over a 1080 being crossfired and still, like, you know, outperforming some cards, except obviously without ray tracing, but, you know, new technologies and all that. I just think it's hilarious how they've stopped me using my processor, like, my Windows are like Microsoft are like, no, new Windows is going to be not supporting your CPU. And I'm like, why? And they're like, just because we don't want to support that architecture anymore. It's like, right, fair enough. Just because. Like, great. So I just because bought a new computer. But yeah, all right. I'm gonna piece this in, and I'll be back on probably midday-ish. Hopefully, I'll hear back from when my PC arrives. It might be early day, I don't know. But I'll tweet out and I'll be on as soon as possible. I'm just gonna rest up. I'm still exhausted from today, and yeah, I'll be more alive and less like lethargic tomorrow. But yeah, peace.